Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Hari Ram Sankirtan ki, Shri Prabhupada ki, Jai Gaur Premanande, Hare Hari Bol. Hare Krishna everyone.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Nice to see you all back. Take your time for hearing this Srimad Bhagavad Gita continuously. We are presenting, Iskamesha presenting Gita Gyan, Essence of Bhagavad Gita, level 2. So yeah, before we start, I'd like to seek your mercy, blessing from Lordship Sri. This is Gaunitai. This is a deity from ISKCON Juhu, Mumbai. Gaunita, beautiful deity. This is during Prabhupada time it's been established. Other Rasa Bihari, very famous deity, Rasa Bihari, in Mumbai, Juhu, beside the beach. Very nice. Saki, and Radha Rasa Bihari and Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman deity. Jai. And let us all together pray to invoke the auspiciousness to hear about the Bhagavad Gita, to get understanding of Bhagavad Gita. So we do prayers, mantras, all can chant together. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Vetamina Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashnaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devim Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Srimadi Pasatade Shatari Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhaktari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we dedicate this to His Strongest Siva Swami Prabhupada, honors of the International Trip of Krishna Consciousness, and we read from Understanding of Bhagavad Gita. We'd like to request Prabhu, Yogalinga Prabhu, you'd like to read? Possible, Prabhu? Yogalingam Prabhu? Busy? Tangavi Prabhu. Tangavi Prabhu.
Okay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Understanding of the Gita. The distinction between the Jiva and the Ishvara will be explained in the 13th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. The Lord is a Kshetra Jana, conscious as is the living being, but the living being is the conscious of his particular body. Wherever the Lord is the conscious of all bodies, because he lives in the heart of the every living being. He is a conscious of the movement of the particular jivas. He should not forget this. It is also explained that the Paramatma, the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, is living in every one of the heart as a Ishvara, as the controller, and that he is giving direction of the living entity to act as a desire. The living entity forget what to do. First of all, he makes a determination to act in a certain way, and then he is entangled in the action and reaction of his own karma. After giving up on type of the body, he enter another type of the body. As we take off and put on the cloth, as the soul thus migrate, he suffer the action and reaction of his past activities. These activities can be changed when he living with being in the mood of the goodness, insanity, and understand that what sort of the activities he should adopt. If he does so, then all the action and reaction of his past activities can be changed. Introduction of the Bhagavad Gita as it.
Thanks, Prabhu.
Thank you.
So in this introduction, we will be seeing in this chapter 13 all this whatever Prabhupada mentioned here about the Jiva, about the Ishvara, Prakriti, and the connection between Jiva and the Ishvara is mentioned here, and we will be seeing in this chapter. It's very interesting. This nature, enjoy, and consciousness. This actually the continuation from the chapter 2. Chapter 2 giving the subject on the body and the soul. So here, 13th in the 13th chapter, Krishna also come up with the same knowledge, more details. So very interesting. This is start from Gyan, knowledge, knowledge. As we seen in the chapter, first 6 chapter in Bhagavad Gita, and we see first 6 chapter, and the Bhagavad Gita is known to the body, the living entity, the position which can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I describe the position of the living entity and the soul. So karma, Krishna also speak about karma yoga and all this in this chapter. And chapter 7 to chapter 12 is a relationship between the living entity, individual soul, living entity, and the super soul in the regards of devotional service as described. It means how the interaction between the living entity and the super soul, the Lord, and how we establish the relationship is mentioned in that verse. I mean, from chapter 7 to chapter 12 is more in devotional service. The cream of the Bhagavad Gita, the essence of Bhagavad Gita is in the middle part, because Krishna explained the bhakti. What is the real bhakti means? How to practice, how to do devotional process. Everything mentioned in this first middle sixth chapter. Now here 13 to 18 is described the relationship with the individual soul and the super soul in regards to the living entity. When the enlightened, when the spirit souls enlightened to understand that the relationship. So how one know the body, the knower of the body, setra gyan, and knower of who is the knower of the body. So this is more into gyan. Gyan means knowledge. Knowledge lead to bhakti. Because when you understand bhakti here, this middle part, so in order to sustain that, so we need knowledge. So that's why Krishna again speak about knowledge in this chapter 13 and 18 till 18. So that's like become like a substance, like solid information that Krishna giving, so that we will be stick in the devotional process. And let us see what Krishna tried to say. And when Arjuna asked this question, first question asked by Arjuna in his first verse, we'll be seeing here. This is a question, the sixth question Arjuna asked to Krishna. I would like to request maybe Siva Krishna Mataji, you like to read?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Arjuna Vacha Praktim Purusham Chaiva Setram Janam Evacha Etam Viditam Ichami Jananam Jayam Cha Kesava.
Keshava.
Arjuna said, "Oh my dear Krishna, I wish to know about Prakti, nature, Purusa, the enjoyer, and the feel and the knower of the feel, and of knowledge and the object of knowledge."
Yeah, thanks, Mataji. So it means six things Arjuna requests Krishna from Krishna. He wants to know this. What is Prakriti? Prakriti means material nature. Purusha, the supreme controller. The feel. Feel is what is the feel? What is feel? Anyone knows? What is feel? That is in the level 1. This is a revision. What is the feel? Anyone remember?
It's body.
Yes, Prabhu. Body. Feel is the body. Knower of the feel? Who is the knower of the feel? The feel and the knower of the feel. Yeah, the knower of the feel. Who is that?
Jivatma and Paramatma.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Jivatma. Correct. Thanks. Jiva. And also Krishna Prabhupada given in the purport says that not only Jiva knows his own, Jiva only knows his own body, but the knower of the body, the Lord, he knows everyone's body, each and every living entity he knows. So, and of knowledge and the object of knowledge. The knowledge, what is the knowledge? So I explained here. Then Krishna answer in the next verse. Krishna nicely explained here. Who would like to read here? Maybe Yoga, is it possible? Yogalinga Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Sri Bhagwan Vacha Idam Sariram Kaunteya Kshetram Ite Abhidiyate Etat Yo Viti Tampraho Kesetra Jnana Iti Tat Vidya Krisetra Jnanam Chapi Mam
Mam
Vidhi
Vidhi Sarva
Sarva
Kshetreshu
Kesetresu
Kshetreshu Bharata
Bharata
Kshetre
Kesetra Kesetra
Kshetrajnanayu
Jnanayor Jnananam
Jnanam
Yat Tat
Tat
Tach
Jnanam
Jananam
Mat
Matam Mama.
Mama. Yeah.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, this body, O son of Kunti, is called the field,
Feel.
and one who knows this body is called the knower of the
The
field.
feel.
O
Ocean
scan of
Bharata.
Prarada, you should understand that I am
I'm
also
also
the
the
knower in all bodies. And to understand this body and its knower is called knowledge.
knowledge.
That is my opinion.
Yeah, thanks, bro. So this is Krishna opinion. What is knowledge? Now, knowledge is to know yourself and the body and yourself and the knower of the super soul. So it means the three things you must know: is body, the living, the jivatma, and paramatma, super soul. When you know these three things, I mean that's the knowledge, real knowledge. Krishna nicely explained. Who knows Atma? Krishna also says, I am also knower. So Krishna know each and every one of us. Sometimes sometimes the Atma, we may think we know this body, but is it really we know about this body? Actually, hardly we know. We don't know. Maybe if you're a doctor, you know what is your intestine, the big intestine, the small intestine, how big, how look like, you have got knowledge. But if you don't know anything, you can't perceive anything. You don't know even how many air in your body, in your head. We don't know many things. We don't know. So we can assume, but the Lord is situated in everyone's. He knows everyone's, each and every living entity, what's happening in them. He, how this body is functioning, everything he knows. Just like example of given here, this is also a division. The tenants and the landlords. The apartment, the tenants knows only about his apartment. The person who are renting the apartment, tenants, he knows only his apartment. But the landlord, the landlord knows all about all the apartments. So it's a setra, setra. This is setra. This body, only one body we know, but Paramatma knows. Anybody? Another example here. This is also setra. Setra, field of activities. So the farmer knows on his land. Is his field, his body, and the Atma, he knows only he. But the kings know all the lands. So this is a true example of Jivatma and Paramatma. So the Jivatma, the living entity, we only know our farm, but we don't know what's happening here, other body. We don't know. Similarly, Paramatma knows everyone. So that's why Sarvasya Chaham, it is Sanvisto, Hidya. So the Lord is situated in everyone's hearts, giving guidance for us. Every living entity, not only human being. Every living entity, a tiger, a lion, a beast, a birds, a fly, insect, reptiles, everyone, every living entity. So they have a body, they have a soul, they have a super soul. Yeah. Sometimes some religion, they say, there's no soul in the living entity. Like some Christian, they say, the soul is not present in the body of the animals, only human beings, so that we can kill animals. So But Prabhupada me giving some explanation that if a human being, if we human, we are sleeping, animal also sleeping, we are eating, animal also eating, we are having a family, animal also having a family, children's, we are defending, maybe with a high weapons, high technology weapons, gun and everything. But a simple dog or animals, they use their own cloth, right? And they have their own protection. So how this tendency comes? The same tendency are there in the human being and animal. So because the presence of the soul. So without the presence of the soul, there's no tendency in this, all this tendency. That's why the proof, every living entity, there's a soul, it's a Paramatma, there's a body, material body. So one who knows this, Krishna says, this is Setra Gyan Chatima, Sarveshetru Bharata. This is the real knowledge. The real knowledge is to understand ourselves, understand our body, and understand the super soul. But here nowadays we not getting all this knowledge due to lack of knowledge, because we are more concerned about the cage. Remember the cage? We are more concerned about the cage rather than the birds inside the cage. We try to decorate the body, the cage, look into many, the knowledge only we knows how to take care of the cage, but have forgotten the birds inside the cage. So now Krishna is giving a clearance, understanding how to know this and what's the further Krishna explain about this knowledge, about the field. Padmavati Mataji, you like to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Mahabahoni ahankaro buddhir avyaktam eva cha indriyani dasam kam cha pancha chandrani gora cha icha vesha sukam dukkam sanghata chetana dite etat setram samsena savikaram udartam. The five great elements: false ego, intelligence, the unmanifested, the 10 senses and the mind, the 5 senses objects: desire, hatred, happiness, distress, the aggregate, the life symbols and convictions. All these are considered in summary to be the field of activities and its interactions.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thanks, Madhu. So the interaction, this is the interaction between the gross body and the subtle body. So Krishna explaining here. So further we see what is a gross, what is a subtle, what is a, how the interaction take place. And Krishna says, this is the field of activities. So within the body, there's a, this is all these elements are working and functioning. So how it is functions, so how this 24 elements is function, how this work. So we'll be seeing here in this graph. Yeah, nice explained here. The field of activities. This from verse, Krishna explained from the verse 6 to 7. Krishna explaining these great elements. What is the great elements? Who maybe like to request, maybe we can read. Siva Mataji, Siva. What is the great elements?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Great elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether.
Ether, yeah, thanks. Where you find this? Where you find this, Divya? Anyone? Yeah. Earth, water, fire, air, ether. Where we find this? Anybody like to answer?
On our earth.
On the earth.
Nature.
Where?
Material world.
Material world, yes. Where? Also where? In each and every living entity. The field of activities. Field. We, the living entities. We can find here. Earth is here. In whether there's a earth in our body? Yes, no?
All in ourself.
Yes, mother.
Body, yes. Body, gross body.
Gross
This
body.
is a ether, water, fire, air is a Panchabhuta. Panchabhuta is in our body. It's made of this gross body. This body is called gross body. This is a field of activities. The field is activity is made of made of how many elements?
5 elements.
Panchabhuta. Yeah, Pancha means 5. Bhuta means these elements. Earth, water, fire, air, ether. So actually this will be in the quiz actually. They are asking 5 questions at the end of the section. So the first day, first section in the previous section we have mentioned here also, level 1. So 8, water, fire, earth. Now you'll see other elements. What are the elements? Do you see the field activities?
Knowledge acquired message.
Yeah. Please can read someone, maybe. Anjana Mataji. Yes. Anjana Mataji, able to read? Yeah.
Yes. Knowledge, acquiring senses.
Yeah.
Eyes, ears, nose, tongue,
skin. So this is a knowledge inquiring senses. Okay. Working senses.
Working senses, voice, legs, hands, anus, genitals.
Yeah.
Sense objects, form, eye, sound, ear,
yes.
smell, nose, taste, tongue, touch, skin.
Yeah, thanks, Madhu. So how complete science Krishna giving? Huh? Very nicely explained in the Bhagavad Gita here. Text 6.7. Huh? If you see in the Bhagavad Gita as it is 13.6.7. So Krishna explained these 24 elements, including the mind. So it's eyes. So the knowledge inquiring senses. Knowledge inquiring means you have eyes, means eye you see. So you're getting some information from eye. From here you can hear. Now you're hearing. You get some information. This is a knowledge inquiring senses. And then you smell something. Oh, nice smell of a rose. Then when you go to this rose garden, you smell nice rose garden. Wow, this is a rose. You automatically know. This is a knowledge. Even a blind person, he inquired that knowledge through his nose. Smell. Oh, nice neighbor, nice neighbors cooking nice biryani. So you smell, wow, there's nice biryani rice going, the neighbors cooking. So you know, so the knowledge automatically you inquire, oh, something happening. Then tongue, you taste nice food or drink nice tasty drinks. So you get knowledge, oh, this is a lemon juice or this is a dragon juice. So whatever you know, then your skin, touch. So when you touch, so you know, what is this? Oh, this is chair, this is table. Even you close eye, you know what's the thing, touch. So that knowledge, inquiry knowledge. And then working senses, we are talk, voice, this is working, voice, we are tongues move. And then legs, you walk, hands, we move, anus, and genitals. So this is all moving, working senses. And then we have sense object. So knowing, like form. Eye, you need form. You see the form. Ear, you have sounds. Nose is a smell. The tongue is a taste. The skin is a touch. So this is a sense object. Working. So this is the 25 elements. So now to understand this perfectly, so Krishna giving, when you want to be a safe site to interact from the gross body, it said that manifestation, interaction of gross body is a desire, hatred, happiness, and distress. when you interact with the gross body, yeah? When the subtle body is it represent the consciousness and conviction. So that's why we have to utilize all the senses, the field of activities, in to understand the Supreme Lord. And the eye, when you see the, you have an eye, you see the Lord's form, His activity. You read Bhagavad Gita, hear Bhagavad Gita. This is hearing the lectures of the sadhu, like Prabhupada giving lecture, everyone hearing. So we are purifying. When the way of purifying the senses, the way of purifying the senses is through engaging the senses in the Sarvapadi Vinirmukta Tarpati Nirmalam, Rishikena Rishikesha, Rishika Isha. Rishika Isha means the master of the senses. The master of the senses, the Lord. So when you engage the senses in the service of the Lord, so automatically we understand the field of activities, how to control the balance in our life. Because why not? But not using everything in the service of the Lord, our life become vain. People struggle in the 14. That's one verse. Mama Mamsa Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana Mana Sastra Indriyani Prakasti Thani Karshati. Karshati means struggle. So we are the living entity struggling with the 5 senses, including the mind. 6 senses, including the mind. Karshati. So it means all the senses are struggling. We are struggled so much. And when you utilize in the service of the knower of the field, Paramatma, so we are free from these reactions, entanglement. So now it's also explained here, the field of activities. So the field, how we can utilize this field. This is subtle body. We request maybe Shama Mataji, you like to read this?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Subtle body, mind, intelligence, false ego.
False ego. So this is subtle body, yeah? Mind, intelligence, false ego. So how you can utilize this mind here? Because here the mind, it says the subtle body is form of the mind, intelligent, false ego. We should use the mind, intelligent, remembering the Lord's name. How you use the mind? This is sloka. Sloka. So you memorize slokas. You memorize hearing from Bhagavad Gita. You able to read this, Mataji? Small words, huh?
Very small.
Very small, yeah. So he said, to think of Krishna, what is the difficulty, Prabhupada say? We all have got thinking power. Our mind is never vacant. We always thinking of something. We think of something. We always 24 hours. That is mind, matter. So if you simply think of Krishna, then your life becomes successful, Prabhupada says. So the mind is thinking, yeah, so many things. When you wake up, that's why Bhakti Sinta Maharaj, Prabhupada's guru, says, when you wake up, you have to beat the mind with 100 times with the shoes. And when you're sleeping, 100 times with the broom. It means how it's not physically you're beating. It means the mind will say so many things. To beaten that mind, so you have to chant Hare Krishna. So when you wake up early morning, so you have to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It means when you chant Hare Krishna, it means you're beating up the mind. Because this mind is very mischievous. It's so many things. See, this is how the minds do, you know. So when the mind is lust, anger, greed, when mind is possessed with the lust, anger, and greed, so You always have retaliate. We have fight, always fighting. When the mind chant, when you think of Krishna, when the mind think of Krishna, you become gentleman. So the gentleman here, nice, peaceful. So uncontrolled mind is become our greatest enemy. So become enemy means you won't become friend.
Those anger and greed mind.
Yeah, greed. Lust, anger, greed. Another verse Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, lust, anger, greed is the gateway to hell. So then Krishna says, very careful. The mind, because the mind, we have to be engaged in the service of Krishna. So it's the only way, like Prabhupada say here, engage your mind. Engage your mind. So in short here, we have a diagram here. Gross body, this is Setra. Setra, soul, subtle body, gross body. You see, soul, subtle body, and gross body. Understand this? This is Setra. Setra consists field of activities, subtle gross body, Setragyan. Setragyan, the subtle. This is field of activities. This is Setragyan, super soul, the knower of the field. So this we are conscious soul. There's a subtle body and gross body. What happened when the gross body left from the subtle body and soul? What happened to the soul? Yeah, and the gross body left from this subtle body and soul. What do we call that? What do we call that? Anybody like to say? Very simple. When the gross body is no more there, what we call? Death. Only when the gross body, when the soul and subtle body is there in the gross body, so is functioning. The gross body is functioning. Without the gross body, the gross body is only a dead body. So the living entity, the energy is coming from the soul. Soul, and when you are in the material world, within the material world, we are this covering mind, intelligence, false ego is covering the subtle body, covering the soul. There will be a soul always will be in the subtle body within the material world. When you leave from the material world to the spiritual world, so the subtle is left behind. Only the pure souls enter into the spiritual world, go back home, back to God. So now we sing here. What do you see in this picture? Nanda Mataji, what do you see here?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Angry.
Yeah.
Disgusted, fearful, happy, neutral, sad.
Yeah. Then what do you see here? This is 6 changes of the body. 6. What is the 6 changes? Krishna explained the Bhagavad Gita.
Janma.
Birth, yes, Janma. And then after birth, what happened?
Grow.
Grow, correct. And then stay for some time. And then you have byproduct. You get married, you got children. And then after byproduct, you decay. Decay means dwindle. You get disease. After disease, what happened? Margya, death.
Yeah.
So this is 6 changes of the body. Yeah, 6 changes of the body. So here, this is the interaction and quality of the what? Gross or subtle? This interaction and quality of the gross and subtle body. This is a subtle body interaction. So the interaction, the mind say, your angry mind, how your first face expression, this way. That, you know, when you see someone, this is your mind expression of your mind, interactions, your mind. That's just a subtle body, the subtle interactions. Yeah, disgusted, fearful, happy, neutral, sad. And this is what?
Interaction.
Interaction of?
Subtle body and the cross body.
Interaction of the?
Cross body and subtle body.
Interaction of the, this is gross body. We can see gross, how the changes take place. Gross, this is the mind, this is gross. This is the subtle, this is gross interactions. So that's the, this is a changing of the body. So then we have to understand that we are take out of best. Prabhupada used to say best bargain. Use the best bargain, bad bargain. Bad bargain from the best use. It means this is a bargain. This is a, we're going to live any moments. We are dwindle and we dry. So this gross and the material has to be utilized in proper manner. So like just like a miracle tree. This is a neem. Neem is always bitter, isn't it? Bitter, but it's even the neem tree is very, very bitter. If the part of it is so bitter until we don't feel any smell. No feel no, but we should understand that this body is understand that adverse from the body to go above. We have to go above to understand the soul. Just like a neem is bitter, but the neem has value. What value? Because so much medical value, isn't it? Neem tree. You can cure so many diseases. Medical value. Similarly, so this is a bad bargain. The body is a bad bargain. It's changed, but the value is in the soul. So we have to utilize to remove this desire, hatredness, happiness, distress, interaction, these material elements. So have to be purified. This all 24 material elements has to be purified, yeah, in order to be valued. So how to value? To understand the Sitra Gyan. Sitra Gyan means the super soul. So when understand, then you can value it. Otherwise, we'll be lost in this material world, where again and again we interact with the subtle body and gross body, subtle body, gross body. So again we come and we go.